Hey y'all, 𝗚𝗂𝗏 here. Thanks so much for joining me today. You know, I'd like to try to always bring you guys something a little new, a little different that everybody and their cousins aren't out there already doing reviews on. You know, part of that is all the knockoffs that I have showed just because they're different. I have a lot of these regular knives too. I'm not like an idiot. I do buy real good quality knives, originals as well. Today we're going to look at one of these Kizers right here. This is the Kizer Guru. It's been out for a little while. You can certainly buy this on Amazon. I've got some links below if you want to go and check it out. Before we get started, though, as always, if you would please just take a second to go down. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button below and then notification bell. You're not going to get bothered with those notifications, but it really helps little guys like me out. Sure do appreciate it. Give your boy a thumbs up if you got to leave early. That also is much appreciated. So this is a Matt Degnan designed Kizer Guru. The blade length, they at least as far as what they say, is 2.97 inches. So technically, this falls under that 3-inch rule and should therefore be legal in most states around the country. We will look at the other specs in just a second. Let's take a quick peek at the box. I always like to do that at the beginning and get that out of the way. This is obviously a real and genuine Kizer. Your boy doesn't buy fakes of, you know, $30, $40 knives. Although this one has been marked up now. You'll see, well, last I checked, it was like 75 bucks on Amazon. Although I still think that's not bad. So anyhow, you can see there the specs on the box itself. I bought this, gosh, I've had this for over a year now, maybe a year and a half. So they may have even updated what comes with it and what you got, but they are still available. So I thought that was cool. Inside the package here, you got this little slick looking envelope, which just has a nice little Kizer cloth in it and a little brochure. I think this is just about all the other knives that they have, maybe a little bit about the company. That's pretty cool. But really the cool thing that they've done is give you a whole nother set of screws to back up whatever you might have here. Otherwise, just a piece of plastic in the box. But that's cool. You know, on an inexpensive, affordable knife, they're giving you extra hardware. That's super cool. Yeehaw for that. All right, let's take a look at some of the size comps. This is what I would definitely consider an EDC size knife. It's just, to me, the perfect size. You're going to see, if you watch enough of my videos, a lot of similarities between the kind of knives and style that your boy Fred likes. So this is the Benchmade Crooked River, full size, much bigger. Compared also on the back end to the Benchmade Bug Out, very compatible, comparable size, even in terms of the blade. Get a little less cutting edge on the Guru maybe, although I'll take it over the Bug Out any day of the week. But if you're a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 fan, we always like to show you the PM2 and the Para 3, give you a good size. Obviously much smaller than the Para 2 and bigger than the Para 3. So nicely fits right in between those two, which again, to me, is a perfect EDC size knife. Pull up some specs on the side of the screen here just so you can see what this thing measures. You can pause if you like. This is a sub 8-inch, about a little under 7.5 inches. They do call this a sub 3-inch blade, although depending on how and where you measure it, you might get a little more than that. It's about a 2 3/4 inch cutting length on there. 1/2 inch handle thickness. The blade stock is right at 12 thousandths, which is not too bad at all. It's actually not bad as a starting point for a nice slicey EDC knife. This is a saber grind. It is flat ground. Black wash blade, 154 cm blade steel, which is very nice on an affordable knife. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second. It comes in at 3.5 ounces, which means it's nice and easy to carry. It is not too thick. I'll put that thickness up against the Para 3 again, so you can take a look. It's right at about the exact same thickness as a Para 3. It is riding on a liner lock with nice bearings on the inside, makes it nice and smooth. We'll take a closer look at that liner lock in just a minute. The price right now depends on where you find them. On Kizer's site, they actually have them listed down as low as $45. However, they're out of stock and you can't buy one. So if you want to get one of these, you have to go to Amazon. Again, I'll put the links down below. You can go check it out if you'd like. I do like to measure behind the edge, particularly on my slicey knives. This one came in slicier than most at about 14 1/1000ths, which makes this a very nice cutting blade. We're going to take a little bit of a blade cutting test here in just a minute. All right, so let's take a little bit of a closer look. We'll start with the pocket clip. This is a steel spoon style pocket clip with the bill bent back down there. It is almost a deep carry, pretty deep enough for me. They did a good job on the pocket clip, not making it too long. I will tell you, there's no real hot spots when you are gripping into that. So nice pocket clip. It's springy, about the right springiness. It clears almost all pants. I haven't had it snag on really anything that I can remember when carrying this knife. So there you go. Pocket clip's good. However, lefties are SOL on this one, as they are, unfortunately, on so many. This is a right side only clip carry. Again, there was extra hardware as if by chance you strip one of these T6 screws. However, interesting to note, there are only, apart from the clip, 2 screws holding this whole thing together. You've got the pivot screw up here, and you have this 1 spacer screw here in the back. Does that mean it feels weak or flexible in any way? Nope, absolutely not. This is a beautifully thick, and I love these micarta. This is a black micarta scale. It has a little bit of a greenish tint to it, as black micarta tends to do, but you can see nice thick slabs of micarta. The quality is nice. You can feel that linen texture on these, which makes it perfectly grippy without being too grippy. Great knife for the winter time as well, as that will not cool down. Inside, you do have nested steel liners on both the top and the bottom. Those are milled out pretty heavily for a little bit of weight reduction in there. There is a little bit of a lanyard hole back here at the back, kind of just wraps all the way through with no tubes or anything in between, but certainly you could stick something on there. Should work just fine. I have no desire to put any kind of lanyard on this thing. Let's talk about the liner lock on this thing. So this is a good liner lock, good quality. You can see, hard to tell. I need to get a flashlight here. Let me grab a flashlight real quick and I'll show you. All right, so with all these black on black, it is often hard to see this on camera. You can see the liner lock here. Basically, the entire liner is connected to that blade. You got about a 50% of the blade tang is touched by that liner. It is a nice nested liner. You can see that's nested into those scales very nicely. Let's set this down for a minute. I have whacked the holy hell out of this knife. It is not going to break free. Definitely easy, solid lockup. Bearings are very smooth. This is what I would consider a drop shut action. There's 2 little issues with this. So first of all, you've got this little bit of the blade tang that hits right there. So that'll hit your thumbnail right about there. The problem is, the one of the downsides of this knife is that it has a late detent. So I haven't cleared that detent ball yet. The ball is not on the tang. Right there is where it breaks onto the tang. That's kind of late for a detent. And the problem is, when you hit that with your thumb, this tang hits your thumb right there and you think, okay, I'm ready to flip. I'm ready to drop it. Sometimes, however, if that happens, it doesn't drop far enough to get past the detent ball. If it does, you're good to go. Then you can hold your thumb a little bit lower. It'll run down to that second finger choil and catch you there. And again, just drops itself nice and close. Very smooth action. Love the action on this thing. One of the things I like. Detent is very strong on this thing. It's almost, I would say, almost too strong, but it's not. It's good. It definitely, you're not going to, you're not going to short stroke this thing. It's a little trickier with the Spidey flick. Takes a little bit more pressure. You're really putting a lot of pressure on that thumbnail to get underneath that bar and pop that out. But as you can see, it absolutely can be done. No problem at all. So thumb studs are the only deployment method on this knife, and that is plenty good for me. Blade itself, beautiful sheep's foot style, black wash. I actually like the black wash because it looks kind of worn already, and it makes me feel like, I don't even need to worry about babying this thing or getting it scratched up or dinged up. It just has that nicely pre-worn look to it already. As I mentioned, 154 cm steel is a great steel to have, particularly on a budget knife. Very happy about that. You'll notice a trend with your boy Fred here. I love the sheep's foot style blades. I'm going to call this still a sheep's foot because there's a little bit of an angle there and definitely a little bit of a belly here. I love also knives that have this front finger choil to them where I can really get up on them. If you go back and watch, most of the videos of the knives that I really like have this same basic format. Some type of sheep's footy style blade with a front finger choil where I can choke up and get in on that action. That feels good. Feels great in the hand. I'm a size large glove. It is ramped on the back. That's worth noting. So if you are an XL size hand, you might find your pinky slipping off the end. For me, that is a perfect fit. However, you could certainly choke up to this first spot with your finger You're not quite on that choil yet, and definitely larger hands fit. But again, a lot of people are just going to use that finger choil like that, in which case it doesn't matter how large your hands are, you're going to fit on this thing just fine. No particular jimping worth noting on this blade, and that's a-okay. There's plenty of grip on the micarta scales, and that choke up point still makes it a very comfortable blade. As far as logos and brandings, you do have the Kizer logo here, and then you will see, maybe if I can get this in the right light, 154 cm with the model number. I love that they tuck that away, very small and neat. On the back, they give Matt, the designer, Matt Degnan, a little bit of credit on the blade here, as well as the blade model, which I probably could have done without, the Guru. However, I can live with that. It's tiny, it's hidden away under the thumb studs. No big deal there. As I mentioned, very smooth action, drop shut, no blade play. It's very solid. No up, down, left, right, you know, as you would expect. There's no pivot lash on this thing, no detent lash. As I mentioned, this is a very strong detent. When this thing is engaged, it is solid as it comes. So you got to love that. Blade centering, also very difficult to see because of the black on black. This thing is dead nut center, just what you want, even in your affordable, nice budget pocket EDC. Sharpening choil, for those of you who want to sharpen, and probably all of us do at some point, no worries there. You've got that big finger choil, which is beautiful. You'll have all the sharpening fun you want with this knife. As I mentioned, the ergos are really good on this thing. Let's do a quick cut test. It is a pretty slicey blade. I mentioned 14 thousandths on the behind the edge measurement. So this is a nice, sharp, that was me, slicey blade. If your boy could hold his paper right, you would see. Trying to go nice and slow, so you know I'm not really cheating you in any particular way. This is a great blade, okay? All that is good. Yeehaw for that. You can cut paper as much as you want. I hope none of you are buying knives just so you can cut paper. Let's talk about cardboard a little bit. This thing is also a very slicey beast on the cardboard. Get that choked up spot right there. You've got a nice long belly that's relatively flat. It will eat through cardboard without any problem. Let's try it through some tape and paper. Still not an issue. We'll cut that all day long. Let's go grab our paper again, because a 154 cm shouldn't really cause you problems with dulling the blade. Boy, I've got some bad paper here. I'm making this knife look bad, aren't I? Nice and easy. Nice and easy. There you go. So it's sharp. It's a real 154 cm. You know, I'm so used to reviewing the fake knives that it's like I have to prove that this knife stayed sharp after I cut a little box up. This is a good blade, y'all. This is the real deal, and there's no issues with that at all. The only real negatives to this knife, again, as I mentioned, that late kind of detent is still not on the ball even to here, so that can sometimes, if you drop it to your thumb, it can cause it a little double clutching, and the clip is not reversible. Not a problem for me because I'm a righty, but unfortunate for you lefties out there. So overall impressions, I love this knife. It's a great, perfect, pocketable EDC size. It is lightweight. Doesn't take up any space in your pocket, really. It is plenty thin, plenty light. I love the micarta. I'm a big micarta fan. Don't have a whole lot of knives in micarta, probably more in titanium, but I do love a good micarta, and this one is done very well. It's smooth. The action is great. It's a good 154 cm, high-quality blade. Holds an edge. Very nice. You know, what else can I say? I love the sheep's foot, the forward finger choil. This knife is just right up my alley in almost every imaginable way. So I think I'll leave it with that. I appreciate y'all's time today. Again, I'll put the links down below. If you would, please, on your way out the door, hit that subscribe and notification bell. Doesn't mean much for you, but it means a lot for me. Throw me a thumbs up if I did all right. Thumbs down if I didn't. Let me know what I can improve on. Otherwise, I appreciate y'all today, and we will see you on the next video. Y'all be good.